Under the auspices of the Ministry of Gender Equality, Poverty Eradication and Social Welfare, in collaboration with the Nationhood and National Pride program and other partners, is currently taking place, and it's set to end tomorrow. The purpose of the conference is to encourage men to take a stand against GBV and promote gender equality, amongst other things. Joining us to give us more information on this is the Chief Public Relations Officer, Lukas Haufiku, in the Ministry of Gender Equality, Poverty Eradication and Social Welfare. Good evening and welcome to the show.
One more point. Hi.
Mr. Haufiku.
Yes, ma'am.
Good evening and thank you for joining us on the program.
Say that again.
A very good evening to you, Mr. Haufiku.
A very good evening to you, ma'am.
Now, the conference is taking part in the northern part of Namibia, Ongwediva to be exact. Why did the ministry take the conference to the north?
Why, is that a why? I think cannot hear you so well. Just yes. Can you say that again?
Can you hear me now, Mr. Haufiku?
Yeah, much better.
Right. Now, we are talking about the men's conference, which is taking place in Ongwediva to be exact. Why did the ministry take the conference to the north?
Okay. One of the key reasons why the conference was taken to the north is the fact that if you really look at the statistics across the country, you get to realize that over the past 2-3 years, there's really been an influx of gender-based related crimes or gender-based violence in the areas of Umsati, Hangwena, and Oshana. So that was one of the reasons why we thought it would be quite good to just come to the northern side of the country and amplify that and amplify the message against GBV.
Right. Now, the conference is being held under the theme Galvanizing Positive Masculinity to End the Scourge of Violence in Namibia. Kindly expand on that.
So when we are saying that, basically we are looking at taking prompt steps or action steps, which is really forthcoming in the conference. Which will be a part of the recommendations, which could be used to inform policy and so many other things. So we are taking those front steps to say, what can we do apart from just this happened, then you speak about it. What are the tangible steps that we can do? That is from national level to community levels in the rural areas. What can we do? Because the meeting has invited people all across the country, all across different leadership platforms, until to them that are just so young in the community is now a collective effort to say that what are the tangible action steps we can do to bring an end to the scourge of gender-based violence. One of the key elements, including us taking part in identifying it and reporting it, because if you look at one challenge we have right now, I can name two, is that we have many cases of GBV that are reported and then are withdrawn. You have many cases of gender-based violence that are not reported, but this person at the end of the day lose their lives, and you hear community members saying that we knew about there was violence in that house, but we didn't want to get involved because it's none of our business. So we are now calling towards to looking at some of these things that are happening and saying what are the possible action or steps that we can take to ensure that this doesn't happen and every person in Namibia plays their part in bringing an end to this scourge. Because only we know what is happening in our homes, and if you don't say it, the next person might not know. So it's a call that everybody really play their part to highlight these issues and bring them to an end. And in most cases, really people think that if we report this, the person will be arrested. But there's so many other issues that we are highlighting to say that, look, it's not only about being arrested. Maybe the person needs help. Some people have childhood traumas. So that's the things we are bringing to the fore, that if you need help, there is help that can be given in you just improving yourself as a man. We are really focusing on men because there are many homes where the men feel that it's my home. You came in here and challenge some of those stereotypes where you just feel that the woman is your equal, or if it's your wife, it's your partner. Leave the house in a way that benefits both of you, but not at the abuse or expense of the other.
Now, Mr. Haufiku, talk to us about some of the topics that are being touched on during the conference.
Sure, there's quite a host of topics that we've been discussing, ranging from religion and culture, how the two intertwine, and really what are the negative and positive aspects of both, and challenging those perhaps stereotypes or anything that might lead to GBV or feed the GBV. We are looking at the roles of media. How can we better report on these issues? What role can the media play in ensuring that this message is carried across and behaviors are changed? We are looking at redefining masculinity and dismantling patriarchy as strategies to address GBV. So we are coming up with strategies that how do we challenge masculinity? For somebody who's brought up for the past 40 years, he just knows things that I'm a man. Men don't cry. Men are supposed to be you don't speak back to a man. How do we challenge all those toxic masculinity behaviors? We are looking at grooming the boy child to become a non-violent adult, even at some instances where they came from a violent house. How do we address that? We are looking at sexual and reproductive health and HIV as contributing factors to GBV. We are looking at gifts. You are in a relationship, the man is showering you with gifts, and now the relationship is over, and all of a sudden the woman wants to leave and is like, you pay me back what you owe me. So we are looking at all the root causes and possible solutions that we could start deploying just to ensure that every woman and child in Namibia is safe at the end of the day.
Right. Mr. Haufiku, in closing, over 10,000 GBV cases have been reported in Namibia since the start of 2020. Talk to us about some of the measures that the ministry is putting in place in order to help to combat and to raise awareness on GBV.
There's a couple of measures that the ministry has taken. One of them is I can highlight is the male engagement conference, which also has a national training manual and training plan for men and boys on GBV. So that's where we are coming together, saying as a ministry, what can we do to make sure that there is awareness raised on this regard. And maybe just while you're on that point, one of the key activities that we are launching, we are ending this conference tomorrow, the 24th, and on the 25th we are getting into another one, the launching of the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence, where we are still amplifying our voice to say that what is it that we can do to curb, because this particular conference is aimed at men, because we're not saying, and it's a misconception that we are always receiving every now and then, which we are constantly also advocating, correcting, to say that, is it that men don't suffer with? Yes, men do suffer. There are some of them, and maybe perhaps I should use this opportunity, a misconception we have of people saying men go to report to the police station and they are police officers are laughing about that. That's really a misconception which is causing a lot of men to suffer in silence. And really, I'm just urging the nation to say that we should stop spreading such a message, because it's not the case. And at the end of the day, this man does atrocities which really just became that. Why did he not speak? But there is the fear, which is not the truth. So those are some of the things that we are doing, campaigns. Just going to all the regions. We go to the lowest and least communities that are not touched with this message. We are using traditional leaders just to ensure that the message against women, violence against women and children is heard through various campaigns.
Thank you, Mr. Haufiku.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Well, that was the Chief Public Relations Officer, Lukas Haufiku, in the Ministry of Gender Equality, Poverty, Eradication and Social Welfare. And he was talking to us about the National Men's Conference that is currently taking place in the Oshana region under the theme Galvanizing Positive Masculinity to End the Scourge of Violence in Namibia. For those who do not want to miss out on the National Men's Conference, it's being live streamed on Facebook on the MICT, NBC and the Ministry of Gender Equality, Poverty, Eradication and Social Welfare pages. Don't go.